Hi, I'm Tash.
Hi, I'm Jake.
And welcome to the Ashford College Spotlight podcast. On today's episode, we have two new guests who are part of the team to do with creating the brand new Music Tech magazine. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm the main head of operations at the moment for the magazine, Patrick.
Hi, I'm Jack. I mainly research and write articles for the magazine.
Awesome. So before we get to know about stuff to do with the magazine and what's involved with all of that, we want to get to know you a little bit more. So what are your hobbies outside of college when you're not busy?
I'd say I'm personally like a sort of creative person. I like to stay active as much as I can. So at home, I've been trying to challenge myself and do my own projects at home with the new equipment I've been getting.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Usually I just read books or watch YouTube, anything like that.
Hey, that's pretty
chilled
cool.
out.
Yeah,
Chilled
that's
out,
pretty
very
cool.
chilled out.
So we've got two kind of contrasts here.
Yeah.
One likes to keep active as much as they can, which I applaud that. That's actually really amazing. And then on the second hand, which is still amazing, you chill out as well.
Yeah.
So, it's both respectable.
Lazy.
I appreciate the
lazy.
vibes. I appreciate
I
them.
wouldn't say
It
it's
sounds like a
lazy.
good plan.
I think I have a history of sort of being known as like a workaholic sort of thing. So yeah,
I've
I try
I've
and
been
break
saying
from
that for years,
but yeah,
Patrick.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So now that we know a little bit about yourselves, tell us, what course are you on, just for the people online?
At the moment, we are in the music tech course for Ashford College, obviously. And we've been doing a bunch of different projects, and the magazine is one of those projects as we've been set.
Yeah, so do you want to tell us about the magazine that you're working on? What's included in it? Like, what's it about?
We have a lot more people working on it behind the scenes, yeah. And together we've combined for the name of Tuneology, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Tuneology.
Yep. And we've done a bunch of different articles for it so far. It's still in very late development. It's almost completed. It's almost out. We have a bunch of different articles on like history of certain music genres, tutorials for certain equipment and programs, and just the general aspects of some music industry places. So like we have an article in this week's version of sample packs and how to use
Awesome.
those and where to get them.
That's cool.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot.
That's really cool.
Yeah. How have you found making a magazine? Has it been a challenge?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say it has been. It's hard to sort of come up with a certain structure, an idea for what a project is before it's been sort of made. It's
Yeah.
a very in development idea and it's constantly changing as we go along.
Yeah.
Like, we've changed bosses twice now.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I think it started as a sort of just studying equipment and programs and stuff. As a sort of like, if you want to start as a music technician, read this and you get to know all the know-how, and it's turned into a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're also like expanding it into like a bigger collection of magazines from
Oh,
like
yeah.
all around
Oh,
the
that's
college.
cool. Yeah.
So like we've got probably like art making one and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So if you don't mind me asking, Patrick, you could go first. What is your proudest moment that you've had since making the magazine?
Since making the magazine, it's probably seeing it all come together in one place. We've been using this program of Sway, and seeing it all collaborate into one place and it slowly build up over time has been really good to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Jack?
I'd say learning how to use Sway because it looks pretty complicated.
Fair enough. I mean, I've never used Sway before, and from what I've heard, it just
It's very tricky.
Yeah.
I think my brain would just melt.
It crashes all the time as well.
You said there's a lot of challenges, but I can imagine there's a lot of skills that were developed whilst making this magazine. Have you used any of these skills outside, or just any skills that you didn't have previously before you made the magazine? Do you think they've improved whilst doing this magazine?
I think as becoming boss, it comes a lot of sort of time management skills and delegating different jobs to different people.
Yeah.
And managing things to make sure everyone's on top of what they're doing and finding deadlines for it. So yeah, I'd say a lot of time management skills, I think.
Yeah. Jack?
I'd say like actually getting the stuff done that I'm meant to be getting done.
You can see two very different personalities going on here. Like
Yeah.
one's like, yeah, I like seeing it all come together, and then Jack's like, I'm just glad I got it done. So what are your future aspirations with the magazine? Like what kind of improvements would you be looking to make over the next few? I'm assuming you are going to make various magazines over the next couple of months. What kind of progression are you looking to make?
I think I'd hopefully branch out into starting to becoming into looking into actual venues and events and reviewing them, like a sort of music journalism,
Awesome.
or
That's
looking
really
into certain
cool.
songs and examining them. Yeah, we're looking
That's
into
pretty
that.
cool.
Do you have any ideas, Jack?
Well, I'd think maybe like more in-depth reviews of stuff, perhaps pieces of equipment maybe
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
can get our hands on in the college.
We have a whole group of people on our project, so we have constantly open ideas, and anyone who wants to say anything is feel free to make suggestions, even if it's from like a reader reading the magazine. I think at the bottom we've stated contact here if you have any suggestions or
We have.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
awesome.
That's pretty cool. So once you've done the magazine, because this would look amazing on your CV, saying that you created the college magazine and there's been a collection of series, the art department's doing it, and you set that up, so that would look amazing. Do you plan on using that and taking that into university?
I actually haven't thought about it so far. It's been pretty busy this week, but yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, it's
Yeah?
been a really big project that I'm quite proud of, I think. Yeah, it's been really good to work with everyone so far.
Yeah, what about you, Jack? Are you looking to go to uni at all?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about going to uni, but if they open up the option here, then maybe.
Yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
that's the great thing about college. Obviously, like, you're not pressured in any way, shape, or form to be like, you have to go
No.
to uni. It's what you must do.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the opportunity to gain all of the experience and qualifications that we would need in our industry to go ahead with that, just going to college,
Yeah.
which I obviously think is great.
They don't make it scary like any other school does. Like when you're going from secondary to college, like, oh, it's going to be so different.
Yeah,
It's going to be
yeah.
terrible. You're going to
Yeah.
hate it.
They
I
make
mean,
it very
yeah.
realistic with the amount of work opportunities they give us. So
Yeah.
with work experience, they are real jobs and real scenarios.
Yeah.
You get exactly how intense it will be rather than spinning about in your own head, overcomplicating it.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. And I think as well, like Jack said, with like secondary schools, I think with a lot of the creative arts such as photography, music, art, drama, dance, secondary schools don't take it seriously. If you
Yes.
go into a careers advisor office in secondary school and say, I want to be a musician, I want to be an artist, I want to be a dancer, they will be, yeah, but what you want to do is a real job. It's kind of it's a
heard
bit
that.
patronising, and the fact that college takes the creative arts, every part of the creative arts department, so seriously,
Yeah.
I think is spectacular.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to ask about the work experience. Have both of you done any?
Yeah.
How
Oh,
have
yeah,
you
doing
found
some
it?
today.
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've got some today,
Yeah.
haven't we?
You looking forward to it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's always pretty fun there in
Yeah.
Revelations. Like you get to see the concert at the same time as like working there, so
Yeah.
you don't get
I agree.
bored.
Yeah, we get a lot of different opportunities. Like, I think just a few days ago we went to a completely different thing we haven't been used to. There's the Picture House down in Ashford Town.
Yeah.
There was a networking meeting, which a bunch of us went to and set up there. Yeah, it's just a bunch of different opportunities to work at.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think honestly, Revelations is worth the mention. Like whether you're a tutor listening, a student, absolutely anyone at all, it is worth. And the tickets are super cheap. They're between like
Yeah.
£10 and
Oh,
£20.
yeah. Lovely
And
place.
it is genuinely, it's such an amazing venue. I've been to all of the big ones. I've been to the O2, like all of the big ones, and they're just like such a small, intimate venue where you get to see these kind of like underground bands that you've
Yeah,
never
these
heard
up
of
and
before in your
coming.
life, and they're
Yeah.
just they're so good. It's such a great experience. I would highly recommend.
Yeah, people honestly probably get thrown off by the fact that it's in a church.
And in a church, it's nothing
Yeah.
like a church.
But it's always a great environment and
Yeah.
like always good vibes there.
Yeah.
Yeah. From my experience there, the staff are welcoming. They're very organised, I'll be honest. Very organised, down to the finest detail.
It's never too stressful.
No. I was going to say, I've never been pulling my hair out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're very on top of like letting people know as well. They constantly email us if anything goes on,
Yeah,
if
that's
anything's
right.
cancelled, when it's happening, reminders. Yeah, it's very good.
Awesome. So our next segment will be college news, just kind of letting you guys know what's going on. We can have a bit of a discussion about some of the topics if you'd like. If there is anything that you guys have going on that are watching, just feel free to give us a shout. If you see us around college, let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. And you can also message us on Instagram. Okay, so the first thing that we will talk about, Jake, would you like to start us off?
So yesterday on the 24th of Feb, there was an open day at the college, and Tash, were you present at that?
I was present.
How did that go?
It was really great. Obviously, we had our resident DJ, John. He do DJ.
He does
He
do
did
DJ.
Yeah.
DJ.
He was there. He was DJing. I was downstairs greeting people who were coming up to the music department to have a look, giving people tours of the college. It was really lovely. I think, obviously, we said this before, it's just nice to give people a glimpse of what's going on. Yeah, it was really great. It was a really great time.
Positive atmosphere. All
Very
round.
positive
Yeah.
atmosphere, yeah. We had catering students making pancakes, which, by the way, were absolutely
that sounds-
spectacular. One of the best pancakes I've ever had in my life. I'm going to be really honest. I also discovered that I am on the front of the official pamphlet for the Music Tech leaflet.
I've got to find one.
You're on it as well.
What?
Jack Jones,
What?
you're on the Music Tech pamphlet that is, by the way, in County Square, Picture House, in the college. It's everywhere.
Uh-oh.
It's everywhere.
Ah.
We are everywhere. We are famous now. If you want my signature, let
Yep.
me know. I'm on the Music Tech magazine.
You don't want my signature. My handwriting's terrible.
So you guys are the faces of the college,
Are we?
essentially.
Oh God, I
guess
don't
so
know about
now,
that.
yeah.
I don't know about that. Faces of
Ugh.
Music Tech.
Music
Yes,
tech.
I guess you could say that.
But the funny thing is about the picture, this is a little bit of a behind the scenes thing.
Yeah.
When we were taking that picture, I don't know if Jack remembers, the mic stand was broken, and I was literally just standing there holding a microphone onto
It's that
a
one?
stand, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jack was stood on a drum machine,
Yeah.
which for those of you who don't know is like a piece of, it's kind of like an instrument.
Yeah, it's MIDI,
but-
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a MIDI instrument, and you press the buttons, it makes drum noises. Like, it's pretty
Yeah.
self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But Jack had one of those next to a drum kit.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
which you would never do. You would just never do that. But
Yeah,
if you
don't tell
don't do
anyone.
Yeah, you
music,
don't understand. You wouldn't realize, really.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the photographer realized how dumb
like
it
how
looked.
stupid that looked. It was so
Yeah, don't
funny.
tell anyone, but nothing in that picture made sense.
Yeah, nothing in that picture was real. We are obviously just very good actors.
Yeah.
Of course. Like,
Sold it.
Yeah, so another thing that we have going on within the next couple of weeks is Community Week, which I believe, I'm not too sure, I don't know too much about it, but I think it's where all of the courses kind of have to do something related to the community, go out and do something to help the community, to volunteer, things like that. I'm assuming we'll probably be performing somewhere. I'm not entirely
Yeah,
sure,
I
but
can
I'm assuming
imagine.
that that's what's going to happen. Yeah, so we've got that going on. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that.
Yeah, I think we'll have more updates on that next podcast.
Yeah. So another thing that we have on Wednesday, next Wednesday, we have an open interview day, which I believe is when people who have applied for the college and received an email about an interview, if you want to come for your interview early, you can come in to college and just do your interview then and there. If you just want to get it done and over with, some people like the preparation, but some people just want to do it and get it done and over with, which I think is obviously great. I mean, these are the first interviews that have been in person for a really long time. I mean, I know my interview was over the phone.
Yeah,
I don't know
so
about
was
it.
So was mine.
Yeah, which wasn't great because it's a bit nerve wracking. I think it must be nice to come in and actually talk to your tutor
Yeah.
and like see the college and stuff like that, which we didn't obviously get to do. So I think that's really great that they're starting that back up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I messed up during my interview, so I'm glad that wasn't
Yeah.
face to face.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't go on, Jack. You've got to tell it.
No.
I think my
So
phone
dumb.
interview was like slightly late because there was some misinformation with phone numbers and stuff.
Oh.
So
alright.
it was like half an hour late. I was already panicking, and then I think my dad got a call because he was listed on like emergency numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So they called him up, and then he gave them my phone number, let me know. I was like, okay, that's why it's been late. And it was just like a 45 minutes of pure like, oh God, what's going on?
Yeah.
Have
I
I already
think-
been rejected?
Yeah. No, I think my interview went sort of well, but it was like really strange over the phone
Yeah.
because for Music Tech, you have to submit like a song that you've made.
Oh yeah.
And they,
Hopefully
one of the
got that.
tutors, the
Hopefully
tutor that
got
did my interview, I like sat and listened to my song over the phone so I could just hear myself singing.
Oh,
and I was just
yeah.
kind of sat
They
there
did
in
that for me
silence.
too.
Sat there in
Yeah.
silence
I
waiting
was
for
there
it
like,
to finish.
Please don't say it's horrible. Please don't say it's horrible.
But like everyone who does music knows that when you make something, you're probably going to hate it. And everyone else, no matter how much everyone else is like, oh, that's great, you're just like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I made
Is
mine
it
with like
though?
sampled loops and stuff, so it didn't
Yeah.
sound brilliant, but
So another thing that we have is a careers event on the 16th of March where 30 employees and apprenticeship people are coming in all day. You can go downstairs, you can talk to these people who are offering employment and apprenticeships and stuff like that, which I think is obviously great.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very important day because, I mean, I think everyone's at this age is, looking for a job or some sort of career they would like to do when they're older, once they're out of college. And I think you can apply for apprenticeships at 16, I believe.
Yeah. And some of them are paid apprenticeships, which I think is great because you're obviously getting paid while you learn and while you earn a qualification as well, which is obviously great. I think a cool question would be, have any of you ever considered looking into doing an apprenticeship?
Possibly, yeah. I haven't had like a lot of time to weigh the pros and cons of like the different options so far. It's been sort of go through as much as you can within the college and sort out everything that's going on right now. But yeah, possibly. It's an option for sure.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think I've considered it as well, but it's a lot to consider what you want to do as a career in the future. But I think
you don't want to get stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and
a
I
big
think
decision.
I think the thing that's good about it though is that not everyone learns in a classroom environment. Like some of us,
Exactly,
I'm
yeah.
guessing all of us are great at learning in a classroom environment, but some people prefer to be hands-on all the time. And that's what an apprenticeship is. You're out there doing the job and getting paid for it, but also earning your qualification. For me, I prefer to be in a classroom, learn all the theory of it first, and then be able to go out and do it. But I think it's just personal preference, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, events like this where the college is holding, I think that's a fantastic idea because it gives students sort of a way to open their boundaries.
Yeah. Well, the next thing and the final thing that we have going on over the next couple of weeks is we will remind you about this when it comes closer as well, but just to let you know, on the 23rd of March, we are having a celebration of culture event, which is obviously self-explanatory. It is a celebration of culture. So I think everyone, I don't know if you guys did it, had to submit like a little form about where you're from, what your culture is, what your culture involves. I know I did it. Obviously, I'm Scottish. I wrote about haggis and iron brew and bagpipes. So I unfortunately won't be here for it because I'm on holiday. But if there are bagpipes, someone needs to let me know because I do want to know, and I would quite like to have everyone's opinion on haggis as well. So what about you guys? Did you hand in a form?
Yeah, we definitely did that. I was curious as to what it was exactly leading to. Since I have like a strangely mixed background, like I come from, on my mother's side, I'm Bulgarian. So I have a few of those traditions and food in my day-to-day life too.
Awesome.
So yeah.
What about you, Jack? Do you have any culturally diverse
Nope.
facts about you, or are you just a typical English lad?
I'm just a typical English lad.
Through and through.
Very boring.
It's not boring at all. It's not boring.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar to Jack in that sense. Just born and raised in England.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got quite a lot of different bloods in me, but I don't know too much about that. All I know is it's not just England. That's all I know.
That's fair.
So maybe in the future I might explore that.
I think everyone's probably got some weird mix of something. Like I know I've got Viking in me, which is like really weird. Me and my mum sent away like these ancestry things. So you send away your DNA and they find out what, like. So I'm like part English, part Scottish, part Irish, and part Italian. Well, I don't know where that comes from. I've not got a clue where that comes from. But yeah, I think obviously that's such an interesting thing to look into.
Yeah.
Especially if your family had any sort of travellers in them as they go around. Yeah, you never know.
So, for our next section, quickfire questions. Essentially what this section is, we're going to bombard you with questions where you either give a yes or a no, or like a one or the either, or just a short answer. Okay? All right, you both ready? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Clock starts now. Favourite dessert?
Napoleon ice cream.
Cake.
Jeans or
General
joggers?
Cake. Joggers?
Jeans.
Respectable. Custard creams or bourbons?
Yeah,
really
custard
thinking
creams.
now. Oh,
Yeah, custard creams.
custard creams, I agree.
This is a really deep question. Are you happy where you are in life right now?
Relatively, yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
I'd say so, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, oh, that's good. On a more light-hearted note, favourite TV show?
I'm completely banking it. First thing that comes to mind is The Witcher.
Oh, that's a really good one.
I'm gonna have to say, like, have you seen The Boys?
Yes,
Even though
that's fantastic.
Even though it's like it's been
I
ages
should've
since it's
said
come
Vox Machina,
like
that's a good one.
new episodes, but I still like it.
yeah, waiting for season 3.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
favorite movie. Come on, Patrick. Come on.
I have
on.
no idea. I'm
Quick
sorry.
fire.
I have no idea. Jack, you answer first. So I get some time.
It's these sort of questions that really make you cold.
Yeah, I don't really watch movies.
Yeah, movies.
I'm gonna have to say like the new Spider-Man, I guess.
Ooh,
Come on,
I
Patrick.
really
Three.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Two,
that's true.
one.
Spider-Man Coming Home.
Yeah,
Coming
that's
Home.
solid answers.
Coming home.
That was a
Coming
good
I've
Home.
not
one.
seen that
you.
one.
Do you prefer daytime or nighttime?
Nighttime, I think, personally.
I'd say daytime because you can actually go out and do stuff.
True.
Weirdest
Who does
thing
that?
you've ever. What is the weirdest thing you've ever experienced?
With this one, I will allow it to be a bit longer because if it's the story, then
Strangest
feel free
thing
to
I've
just say.
ever experienced.
It's good to get the brain turning every now and then.
I don't think mine does that.
Fair enough.
Strangest thing I've ever experienced. That's an odd one. I don't know. I think I've recently been like trying horror stuff. So having the feeling of constantly being watched by something and having a vague idea of it, that's probably the weirdest thing.
I think you need to check your walls, Patrick.
I sleep next to 2 mirrors at night. It's fine.
That's
Oh.
dangerous. Apparently, that's like
my
really
wardrobe,
bad.
my wardrobes are sliding mirrors.
I've read into it that if you sleep in front or next to mirrors, it allows like spirits and souls
Yeah.
to come into your
Yeah, I
Oh.
probably have a
like
few
your room and
demons somewhere.
stuff. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe in any of that stuff, but it does freak me out a little bit.
So do you want to answer this first?
Mine's not in the paranormal realm, but I'm gonna have to say like I think trying VR for the first time because it's like such a new experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's like really weird putting the headset on for the first time.
Yeah, because I mean, I've never tried it, but I've seen YouTube videos, and it's essentially like you're there. You're in this
Yeah.
completely different world.
It's like
And it's,
convincing.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely.
that was the slowest moving quickfire questions we've
I'm
ever
so
done.
sorry.
We're just
No,
two
We're
idiots.
apparently
fine,
not
it's
very
fine.
good with media.
No.
No worries. I mean,
Worst
I will-
podcast.
Not
I- I-
interesting at all.
I did try and find a couple of questions that were quite deep. I do like those sort of
I like
questions.
those too, yeah.
Okay, so moving on to our special guest, if you would like to introduce yourself.
So my name is Stephen Israel. I'm the Joint Artistic Director of a site-specific and responsive theatre company called, very imaginatively, The Company. I was an actor for about 20 years, but about 15 years ago I set this up, and that's what I'm busy doing these days.
That sounds amazing. The company. What's the company about?
Well, what it is about is creating site-specific theatre and sometimes film, and also working with groups with different needs, such as CAMS, or we work with another group called SASBAR. But in terms of what we specially do, it's creating a play about a place or an area which really can only be done in that place. So, for example, I don't know if you know this, we're going to be doing a play in Ashford called All Change for Ashford. And it's all about the history of Ashford and the railways, and now post-COVID, or, well, still possibly in the middle of COVID, about where we see Ashford going for the future.
That is
Ooh, that
really
sounds
awesome.
that
It's
sounds
such an interesting
fantastic.
thing. And then obviously we've got you here today just to ask you, what kind of association do you have with Ashford College?
Well, you have a very nice lecturer called Mark Rowden.
Yes, we do.
And a very talented and nice lecturer called Mark Rowden. And I think I was liaising with him a couple of years ago because this project, All Change for Ashford, was supposed to happen 2 years ago pre-pandemic, but it was postponed and cancelled due to the pandemic. And the project's starting again. It's kind of risen from the ashes. And I was liaising with Mark, and he suggested, would it be a good idea if some of the Ashford College students worked on the show? Maybe as assistant stage managers, maybe as technical support, maybe as volunteers. And we got talking, and the answer was yes, it would be a really good idea. And I don't know if you know this, but I've got two very talented Ashford College students working as my assistant stage managers on the show.
Well, obviously, this is such a great opportunity for us to offer, and our podcast is all about shining a light on Ashford, which I think is obviously really fitting considering that the play is all about Ashford. But it's been really great talking to you today, and I think this has been a great way to start this segment off with such an amazing opportunity for Ashford College and Ashford in general.
Well, thank you very much for interviewing me. I've had a very nice time.
Thank you so
That's
much.
great. Thank you very much. So, to introduce the discussion of the week, should the use of phones in classrooms be encouraged or discouraged?
That's a sticky one.
I think
Yeah.
phones are sort of umbrella term at this point. They're no longer just phones at this point. It's
It's just
modern
a whole
phones.
computer in your pocket, basically.
Essentially,
Yeah.
yeah. So it depends on what you're using it for, and does it contribute to what you're currently doing?
Let's say in our current course, would you, say if you just go into the classroom right now, Mark or Deej have asked you to research about the pop genre. You've got a Mac there anyway.
Yep.
Do you think the use of the phone would be encouraged in that situation or against, discouraged?
I think ultimately it comes down to just understanding people, essentially.
Yeah.
If someone has an emergency at home or is expecting something, it's nice to have that assurance and have it out and let it know.
Yeah.
So don't completely ban them.
I think like if you completely ban it, it will just encourage people to
Do it more.
under,
Yeah.
like,
There's
under the
always that
table or
attitude
something.
too, yeah.
To be honest, I think the thing that used to bother me most in secondary school is when you had to put your phone in like a little pocket at the door. I don't understand why you can't listen to music when you're doing your work.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
something that really bothers me when teachers are like, no, you can't listen to music while you're doing work. For some people, it helps you work better. I know it helps me concentrate. I'm distracted so easily. I'm like a goldfish. I have a memory span of like 5 minutes, 5 seconds, I think. I cannot concentrate on something. But whereas if I have music in, I'm concentrating on that. Therefore, I can focus on one thing, which I think is great. And then obviously some people need their phones for certain reasons. Like I know as someone that I work with, I think he's got diabetes, and to track his blood sugar from his
that's
Apple
very
Watch
important.
and his phone, which obviously like a lot that does affect a lot of people. So
Yeah,
obviously I
for sure.
think some people need to be considerate that things like that. And I mean, some people have vulnerable family members, and if their family members need to get in contact with them at any point in time, I don't think students should be without their phones as long as they're in their pocket and not in their hand sending Snapchats. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the music thing, I think it comes down to if they are listening to music, are they actually focusing on their work? Just pay attention to them and see whether it is helping or not. Some people it does help a lot, and others it could completely distract them for different reasons.
Yeah. Say, you're listening to music and that helps you concentrate. Then you might have another student next to them doing the exact same thing, but they might just have a sneaky look on TikTok or something. It's stuff like that that kind of makes this question a grey area.
Exactly.
But I think overall, in my personal opinion, I think the overall use of phones should mostly be encouraged.
You should be lenient with it, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's all about learning to trust your students.
Yeah.
Like building a relationship with your students that if they're on their phone, just trusting that they're not doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. Like I know obviously like if I get a text message from my nan, for example, when I'm in class and I text her back quickly, Mark doesn't normally he's never like, get off your phone now. He'd never say that. Like if I'm sat on my phone for like 10 minutes while he's talking, understandably he'd be like, what are you doing? But if I'm quickly texting someone back, it's not a big deal as long as you're getting on with your work. And yeah, I think that was a great topic. And Jake come up with this one this week.
Congratulations.
I mean, I found this on the internet, I'll be honest.
And there goes the pay raise.
Oh,
Top 10
it.
podcast
Should have just
questions.
taken credit for it.
Nah, we do this all voluntarily.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, all of us.
Went for a Watch Mojo video.
Yeah.
Watch Mojo hire me, please. I'm wanting a job.
Yeah, anyway, so it's been great talking to you guys, finding about the magazine. We can't wait to have a read at it. Obviously, from now on, we'll be announcing when your magazine's coming out on the podcast, just for that extra exposure. I believe you guys are writing an article about us.
I think we have been, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been sort of focusing on that
yeah.
a little bit. So if you want to, you can have a proofread of that. And
Yeah,
make sure I've
yeah.
got
We'll just have to
right.
have a.
Make
you
sure.
have to make a cheeky mention about Jake making strange noises whenever he gets frustrated.
I think The article was mainly specifically focusing on like how you started in the first episode, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, that's
definitely.
awesome.
I'd love
So-
to have your input.
So it kind of covers our progression.
Yeah.
Of how.
Yeah,
the
hopefully
podcast
in like
happens.
more series we can make updates.
That's pretty
to it.
interesting.
We're going to have an
That's really
expose
awesome.
on all your mess ups as well, so don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, you get tons of material.
So yeah, it's been great talking to you guys. Again,
it's been a
if
pleasure.
anyone watching has any suggestions for what we should talk about, any topics that you want us to talk about, anything that we should brush over, anything at all, just give us a shout. If you are also on a course that isn't music or art, give us a shout and you can be a guest on the podcast. It's great fun. I think it's great fun anyway.
Yeah,
But just give us a shout. I have been Tash,
I have been Jake.
and thank you for listening to the Ashford College Spotlight podcast.